Hey everybody, and welcome back to Lindsey's Little Library. So I'm here today with a super fun book haul. Lots of stuff to talk about, so we're just going to dive right in. First ones I want to talk about are my Book of the Month books. I am working with Book of the Month again in April, so I have 5 amazing books to talk about. Before we get to that, please go check out Book of the Month with me. It's my favorite book subscription service, and I've tried a few of them. This is the one I've been with the longest. They have yet to let me down. What's really great, the price is on point. Your first month you get for $9.99. There's a code below if you want to sign up and use it. Do it now. But the books you are given and the ones that they really take a lot of time, and they think about what books they're going to put in and available each month. They're always different. They're always unique. They're always ones. There's some, maybe I've heard of, but most of the time it's new authors or debut novels, and they're really good books. It's awesome too if there happens to be a month where you're like, nothing really sounds great, or I need to rein in my book buying habit. You can skip it and you just move on to the next month. It's not like it has to come. You can also have add-ons. They have really cool add-ons that they have. Each add-on every month is only $9.99. Again, a hardcover, beautiful book for $10. You really can't go wrong. So there's a link below. If you're interested in signing up or learning more about Book of the Month, please click on it. But let me show you what books they have for April. I'm really excited about them. First one is Like a Sister by Kelly Garrett. This is more thriller, psychological mystery, something, so I don't want to know too much about it, but I'll tell you some things. It says, no one bats an eye when a Black reality TV star is found dead, except her estranged half-sister, whose refusal to believe the official story leads her on a dangerous search for truth. I love it when we have a character who's a family member or a friend or something. I'm listening to a book right now that's similar, where like they know something fishy happened and they're out there to try to figure out what the truth is. Oh, love me a good book like that. Yeah. Next one I want to talk about is Bittersweet by Susan Kane. I think she was the author of Quiet, which I was just looking at that and interested in that book too. I might listen to it. So she uses the same mix of research, storytelling, and memoir to explore why we experience sorrow and longing, and how embracing the bittersweetness at the heart of life is the true path to creativity, connection, and transcendence. So really interested in this one, and I love this cover. Then I have Kakai. I believe that's how I say it. I was looking it up. Oh my gosh, this cover too. It's got like these metallic gold accents on it. It's so pretty, so beautiful. So this would be more of a fantasy. It says, I was born on the full moon under an auspicious constellation, the holiest of positions, much good it did to me. So it begins her story. She's the only daughter in a kingdom of, She's raised on tales of the gods, how they churned the vast ocean to obtain the nectar of immortality. They vanquished evil, and they ensure that the land prospers, and how they offer power boons to the worthy. Yet she watches as her father unceremoniously banishes her mother, listens as her own worth is reduced to the marriage alliance that she can secure, and when she calls upon the gods for help, they never seem to hear her. Desperate for independence, which I'm loving, she turns to the texts she once read with her mother and discovers the magic that is hers alone. With it, she transforms herself from an overlooked princess into a warrior, diplomat, and most favored queen. Yes, please. Love it. Next one I have is True Biz by Sarah Novick. Students at River Valley School for the Deaf just want to hook up, pass their history finals, and have politicians, doctors, and their parents stop telling them what to do with their bodies. This revelatory novel plunges readers into the halls of a residential school for the deaf, where they'll meet Charlie, a rebellious transfer student who's never met another deaf person before. Austin, school's golden boy, whose world is rocked when his baby sister is born hearing, and February, the headmistress, who is fighting to keep her school open and her marriage intact, but might not be able to do both. Series of cries, both personal and political, threatens to unravel each of them. Charlie, Austin, and February find their lives interconnected from one another's and changed forever. Story of sign language and lip reading, disability and civil rights, isolation and injustice, first love and loss, and above all, great persistence, daring, and joy. Sounds like a ride, and I am here for it. Totally here for it. And then the next one, another one I'm super excited for, The Good Left Undone by Adriana Trigiani. I almost said Triviani for my friends fans out there. I know. So we have Matilda, the family's matriarch, has always been opinionated and brusque. Sounds like my kind of lady. Now she faces the end of her life, and she's determined to share a long-held secret with her family about her own mother's great love story with her childhood friend Silvio, and with dashing Scottish sea captain John Laurie McVillers, the father Matilda never knew. Ooh. I'm loving this. So it takes place, looks like a coastal town on the brink of World War II. Her journey takes her from the rocky shores to the mystical beauty of Scotland to the dangers of wartime Liverpool, where Italian Scots are imprisoned without cause. What? Okay. Beyond excited about this one. And they're short chapters. It's the way to my heart, my friends. All right, so those are your 5 options in April. How you pick one, I don't know. Yeah, I very rarely ever just pick one book when I do my book of the month picks. I'm usually picking 2 or 3, but you know, life is life. So we're not done yet. I have another huge pile of books that I want to talk about because I had an amazing time. I met up with Amanda from the Curly Reader. We met about halfway between where I live and where she lives, and found a couple of used bookstores to go to. We found a couple Goodwills to go through. So we have piles of puzzles and piles of books. We ate food. It was so fun. So let me show you what I got. All right. First one I'm going to blame Audrey for. I picked up The Westing Game by Ellen Raskin. Never read this book. It was written, I believe, in like the 70s, but takes place in Wisconsin. So that's cool. And she just couldn't stop talking about the darn thing. So I picked it up. It's, I believe, a middle grade where a bunch of kids have to solve some sort of puzzle in order to get some money. So we'll go with it. Next one I picked up is a Joy Fielding book. I just read Cul-de-sac not that long ago, and the number of comments I've gotten about reading CJ and Run was absolutely insane. So I know it's mass market paperback, but you know what? For $2, I picked this one up because y'all got me super excited for it. I also grabbed a couple of R.L. Stine books. I loved these books when I was growing up, and I kind of want to just go back and read them and see a little nostalgia, see what happens. So which ones did I pick up? I didn't even show you. The New Year's Party and Hit and Run. Those were the 2 I picked up. I don't remember if I read these. I couldn't tell you. I had a whole shelf of them. Also grabbed Paul Tremblay, The Cabin at the End of the World. Been intrigued by this one, and I haven't read any Paul Tremblay books. I just kind of want to see what it's about. And again, for $3, I picked it up. And then Amanda put this one in my hands and said that I had to buy it. And I listened to her. But it's Lata's Diary, A Child's Life in Sarajevo. I did start reading a little bit of it and kind of her experience and what happened when, let's see. Oh, and she writes it says, Dear Mimi. She writes to her journal as if it's like a person. So I don't know. It intrigued me. I'm totally interested. Let's see. Then I picked up Sisters in Arms by Kaya Alderson. It's a book of the month book I did not have. I know, shocking. How much did I pay for this one? $7. Not too bad. That's the first and only all-black battalion of the Women's Army Corps. The legendary 6888, these brave women risked their lives to serve with honor against incredible odds. So, picked that one up. Love me a good historical fiction. I grabbed another Natasha Preston book. I've yet to read any, but this one is The Lake because I thought it would be appropriate to bring a creepy book that takes place at a lake, to the lake when I go there this summer. So it's happening. It says, welcome to Camp Pine Lake, where the only thing scarier than a ghost story is the past coming to haunt you. And I'm all for it. Next one I grabbed was The Flood Girls by Richard Fifield. The thing that caught my attention is this amazing cover with this old RV. I loved it. So we are in a small city in Montana, population is 956, town where nearly all the volunteer firemen are named Jim, where the Dirty Shame, the filthier of the two bars in town, refuses to serve mixed drinks, and where the locals hate the newcomers. Then again, they hate the locals too. And that's basically where I had. So we have Rachel Flood's coming back to town after leaving behind a trail of chaos. So it's kind of coming home again, mending things up, that type of a contemporary, like, you know, drama-filled story. So I was all for that one. A couple more books that are all Amanda's fault. I did pick up The Extraordinary Life of Sam Hell by Robert Giugani. My friend Lindsey started reading this and was enjoying it. Amanda said it was fantastic, and the condition of this book, it's like it's brand new. I don't know if it's even been read, and it was $6. So, yes, please. I grabbed The Kind Worth Killing by Peter Swanson, another one I think that Audrey keeps talking about. I believe two people who don't really know each other, strangers, they meet on a plane after having too many martinis. The Ted admits that he wouldn't mind it if his wife disappeared, and Lily surprises him and says, well, I can help you with that. So I go from there. Then I think Amanda put this one in my hands, Bridge of Scarlet Leaves by Christina Mcmorris. Again, historical fiction with a woman's back to the cover. It's all over the place. But I like this was a little different take on it. Los Angeles, 1941. We have a violinist, Maddie. Her life seems destined to unfold with the predictable elegance of a Bach concerto. Then she fell in love with Lane, her brother's best friend. Lane is a handsome, ambitious son of Japanese immigrants. Maddie was prepared for disapproval from their families, but when Pearl Harbor is bombed the day after she and Lane elope, the full force of her decision becomes apparent. In the eyes of a fearful nation, Lane is no longer just an outsider, but an enemy. Her husband is interned in a war relocation camp. Maddie follows, sacrificing her Juilliard ambitions. Behind barbed wire, tensions simmer, and the line between patriot and traitor blurs. As Maddie strives for the hard-won acceptance of her new family, Lane risks everything to prove his alliance to America at a tremendous cost. Yes, please. Tell ya, don't go book shopping with Amanda. This is another one. No, this one I found. My Name is Mary Sutter by Robin Oliveira. I've been on the look for more Civil War historical fiction books, and this is one of them. So Mary is a brilliant young midwife who dreams of becoming a surgeon. She's determined to overcome the prejudices against women in medicine and eager to run away from her recent heartbreak. So she travels to Washington, D.C. to help and tend to the legions of Civil War wounded soldiers. Under the guidance of two surgeons who both fall in love with her, she must be amazing, and resisting her mother's pleas to return home to help with the difficult birth of her twin sister's baby, Mary pursues her medical career against all odds. Rich with historical detail, including cameo appearances of Abraham Lincoln and Dorothea Dix, among others, and it introduces a heroine whose unwavering determination and vulnerability will resonate with readers. So, really excited that I found this one. Then we have The Wives of Henry Odess. Joanna Moran is who wrote it. This is another one that I believe Amanda put in my hands. So when Henry accepts an accountancy post in New Zealand, his wife Margaret and their children follow him to the exotic Wellington. But while Harry is an adventurer, Margaret is not. Their new home is rougher and more rustic than they expected, and a single night of tragedy shatters the family when the native Maori stage an uprising and kidnap Margaret and her children. Harry looks for him in the surrounding forest, can't find his wife, his kids, ends up moving on. He ends up going back to California, marries another woman, seems that he's found happiness again, and then Henry's first wives and children show up alive. So that sounds exciting. I grabbed The Pelican Brief by John Grisham. Another one, who was I talking to? Maybe my book club said this was one of their favorite John Grishams, and I'm like, I haven't read any of his, I've read The Painted House by him, but more of his what he normally writes. Another one from Amanda that she gave me, Titanic Sisters, Patricia Felvey, wrote it. Two young Irish women yearning for independence and adventures that sails on the Titanic. And we all know what happens. I mean, not in the book, but in general. So we'll see what happens to the sisters. Okay, I have like 5 more books. Can you wait 5 more books? Next one I have is Crazy House by James Patterson. I really do enjoy picking his books up every so often. I like his short chapters. They keep my interest. They're good, but I haven't heard of this one. It says, the craziest story you will ever read. Becca Greenfield, 17, disappeared one morning on her way to school. Everyone from her town, including her twin sister, desperately searching for her. They won't find her. Becca is being held prisoner in the crazy house. Becca is on death row, which is totally crazy because Becca is completely innocent. No one's ever gotten out of the crazy house alive, but there's always a first time. So just sounded a little different. I'm excited for it. Next one I picked up is The Heavens May Fall by Eskins. I read The Life We Bury, which I really want to reread sometime. But this one follows Detective Max Rubert and attorney Brody. Their friendship's being pushed to the breaking point. Max is convinced that Genevieve Pruitt was killed by her husband Ben. Brody's equally convinced that Ben, his client, is innocent, and as the case unfolds, the two are forced to confront their own personal demons. But Eskins just writes such beautiful books. I love it. Next one I grabbed is The Things We Cannot Say by Kelly Rimmer. I just read a book by her called The Warsaw Orphan, and I enjoyed her writing style, so I picked this one up. Let's see, 1942, Europe remains in the relentless grip of war. Just beyond the tents of the Russian refugee camp she calls home, a young woman speaks her wedding vows. It's a decision that will alter her destiny, and it's a lie that will remain buried until the next century. That was all for that one. And then Amanda and I picked up these two books. We both got the same ones because this is apparently what Amanda and I do when we go book shopping together because we did it when we went to Asheville. So the first one we grabbed was The Light in Hidden Places by Sharon Cameron. One knock on the door and Stephania has a choice to make. 1943, for 4 years, 16-year-old Stephania has been working for a family in their grocery store in Poland. Singing her way into their lives and hearts, she's even made a promise to one of their sons, a betrothal that must be kept secret because she's Catholic and he's Jewish. Everything changes when the German army invades. The family is forced into the ghetto, and Stephania is alone in an occupied city, the only person left to care for Helena, her 6-year-old sister. Then comes the knock on the door. Izzo's brother, Max, has jumped from a train headed to a concentration camp. The sisters make the extraordinary decision to hide Max and eventually 12 more Jews. Then they must wait every day for the next knock on the door, the one that will mean death. When the knock finally comes, it's 2 SS officers requisitioning the house for the German army. With 2 Nazis living below and 13 Jews hidden above and a little sister by her side, she has one more excruciating choice to make. I need to know. I need to know. And then we both picked up Stolen Lives by Malika Ofkor. Her family, so this is based on a true story, or it is a true story. Malika was born to a family of privilege as the daughter of the King of Morocco's closest aide. In 72, her life of luxury came to a halt. Her father was executed for attempting to assassinate the king, and she and her family were imprisoned for 2 decades in a desert jail. So this is the story of that, which, again, very interested, and I've heard really good things about. So that is my not so little book haul for you. I'm super excited about all of these books, specifically the Book of the Month books. Really, really excited for the next, really excited for what they're coming out with. I know in April they have about 5 books, but I believe they sometimes will have up to 7 books in a month. So definitely check them out. Just go sign up. What are you waiting for? Otherwise, big thanks to Amanda for hanging out with me in La Crosse. It was super fun, and we got some really good books and puzzles. Otherwise, comment below. Let me know what books you've picked up lately. Otherwise, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.